Hi, I'm Steve Shelburne, owner and operator of Shelburne RV here in beautiful Cleveland, Tennessee. Well, good morning. Another rainy Monday morning here in beautiful Cleveland, Tennessee. Glad you're back. We actually had 8 campers come in last week, so we had a little bit of work that came in. So yeah, maybe you can see the trees are starting to bud a little bit, and so maybe that's it's coming. We'll see. But yeah, we're back here on a Monday. We've got a Winnebago coming in this morning for basement air repair, and then the boy's gonna be finishing up on that Jeep up there, and got a few other little projects we're gonna go around and look at. But yeah, I'm down here helping Mr. Lewis get this Winnebago into the AC shop. So we're gonna get rolling this morning. Glad y'all are back. All right, something we're looking at here in the shop is this big Atrium Class A by Gulfstream. Now, this thing here has got the old DeWalt hydraulic leveling system. Now, this has all been bought out by Lippard Components. And so this gentleman has got some real issues here because the hoses, you can see that one there. This is all stuff that's just over time has broke down. You can see the bubble in the hose. They're kind of weeping everywhere. And so kind of some of the issue that we're having here is slides are opening up going down the road. So, you know, obviously we need to do a pressure test to see what's going on, but the hoses are weeping hydraulic fluid. So kind of a bad deal here. And you can kind of see where this thing's located. And so part of the other issue is, I can crawl up in here, hydraulic lines go through the frame. There's more that go through the frame over there. Obviously going back this way. So yeah, obviously a little bit of an older coach. And of course this gentleman, I think he bought it right from what he was saying. He didn't pay a lot for this coach, but obviously has got some issues. I mean, those hydraulic lines not only run the jacks, but they run the slides. I mean, that's tough. And that number 4 hydraulic line, I mean, at $7 a foot, it gets pricey. I'm actually trying to price it out and see if I can find somewhere that's got the hose maybe a little bit cheaper. But yeah, 3,000 PSI number 4 hose, just not a cheap thing to buy. And so yeah, trying to get that quoted to him. He's got some seals on the slide. That's got some problems, and so the boys have been kind of working on that. But yeah, I mean, it's a nice looking coach, but yeah, you get into it like that, and then yeah, you know, hydraulic lines are all blowed out and leaking everywhere and not building pressure right, and of course a little bit of an older system. So, you know, I don't know what that's going to cost, but I mean, you see what's going on, so it's going to take a minute. Let's just have to price it out and see. All right, so we're working on a 2022 Sport Trek by Venture RV. And again, you heard me talk last week about people not checking their sealant. This one right here, this is campers, I mean, a little over 2.5 years old. But I'm gonna show you something. And again, this is why I say you've got to look at this. And somebody didn't catch this. Nobody's looked at this. I mean, this camper is over 2 years old. Nobody's looked at this. So again, you know, they want to get mad at me, but this is a brand new camper. And I can tell you that nothing's been done with it because you would have had places where you'd see it. But let me turn this around. I'm going to show you the sealant job on this camper. You make your own mind up. Let's look at this now. You can tell this has never had sealant. I mean, there's a little bit of butyl behind that, but there's literally no sealant across here. None. They never sealed it from the factory. And so you look down here, and then look what happened when the wind came in there and grabbed this. I mean, we're missing screws because obviously water's been getting in here for a while, and the wind come along and got it. Well, now look what it's done. It's damaged the membrane, but there's literally no sealant from the factory. So let's go up here a little bit more. I'm gonna get up on the roof and show you this, because all the way down the top of this, there's no sealant, none. I mean, even down here, you can see where the screws are coming out. There was no sealant across that. So, and then even over here on this side, there's a little bit of butyl right there, but there's no sealant. None of this is sealed. If you look right here, that's a staple that's actually starting to poke through the material. And I think there was another one. Yeah, right there. So yeah, just didn't do a very good job sealing this from the factory. Let's go around and look at this. No sealant. That's just got butyl that's pooching out, but never been sealed. So yeah, this is why I try to educate you guys, is sealant's very important. I mean, they put a little bit right there, but it's failed. So look at that, pulling loose. It's just this here, that's just the foam, but it's no sealant. They did a little bit of sealant work right there, but not much. But let me take you inside and show you something. Here's another problem. Of course, that baggage door, that's just the foam seal. I mean, I'd hate to do a seal tech on this because everything on this thing be leaking. But I want to take you in here and look at this, because here's the other problem. Look at the gap. Look at the gap in the wall, where the wall has bowed out. It gets worse as we go down. That bow's actually got a curvature to it. The wall's got a curvature to it right there. Look at that. So obviously in here, it's in here for some storm damage. The gentleman claims that he had the awning out, storm came along, grabbed it, ripped everything out. Now, it probably well did that, because that turn bar, literally, you see what it looked like. No sealant whatsoever, so it's pulled all the screws out. I mean, wouldn't take much to do that. But, you know, this is the reason why I try to tell you guys every 90 days. 6 months max. I mean, this come from the factory this way, and nobody's looked at it in over 2 years. So, I mean, I'd hate to do a seal tech on this. This is a nice camper. I mean, this is a pretty nice camper. And sealant job has obviously took a toll on this camper. So we're going to see what we can do to help these folks out. But yeah, this is the reason why I tell you, and this is the reason why, you know, when you call me and tell me you hadn't looked at it 10 months, I mean, again, this is it, guys. I mean, you got to look at this stuff more than 10 months, because even brand new ones ain't got the right sealant on there. All right, back here on this big Fleetwood, you can see there's a lot of parts tore out of this thing at the moment. And the next issue is obviously that other sealing panel right there. So yeah, just trying to get everything clean and prepped so we can start getting it ready for the new panels. Another camper we're looking at here today is this Mesa Ridge little bumper pull trailer. And I mean, you can see this roof, it's not terribly old. I mean, it's not bad shape. But again, here's another one that they put butyl tape over here, but they never put any sealant. And now look at this right here. You can see that there's holes. I mean, it's just ripped it all apart because the water's been getting in the screw holes right there and damaging it out. Butyl around the ladder, but no sealant. Very, very little sealant right there. But yeah, I mean, this is what we're dealing with. And so all that stuff, I mean, that's a little D-lam right there. Water's been getting behind that. I mean, this baggage door is better, but that window's just working on the seal behind it. You know, the door's got a little bit of sealing around it, but again, I mean, So I try to tell you guys, you got to look at this sealant. 90 days. I mean, a little bit of sealant right there. But there's some failure points right up in there. So, yeah, they just don't get looked at. So this is the problem we run into. And that's the issue, guys. I mean, I try to tell you guys every 90 days, is, twice a year minimum. But, the more the better, because, again, it's protecting your investment. I mean, it just costs him a bunch of money. I mean, that roof is tore. The wood behind it is damaged. So, it's just a tough conversation with him. So, yeah, there you go. Two this week. A project we've been working on here in the shop on the basement air side. Basement air model number 6536, which was primarily used in Alpha Sea Class A motor coaches and some of the Prevost conversions. They used a 6536, which was a top discharge and a top return. And you guys saw us work on that one on that Peterbilt bus that we did a few weeks ago, and the issue has literally come down to those coils right there. I've been working with Coleman for a while to try to get them to reproduce original coils for this, and they have agreed to do that, but they've changed coil manufacturers several years ago, and so their new manufacturer doesn't actually, they've never built those coils before, and the old manufacturer wants us to buy 1,000 coils, and the new manufacturer may require us to do the same thing, or what ended up happening is the price point is so high that it just doesn't make it worth it. And so 46515, which is the only unit Coleman builds at the moment, is literally 2 inches too wide in some of the Prevost buses. And so, we had one that, literally had to shoehorn the dadgum thing in there. So, I'm trying to come up with a solution for this because, there's a lot of Prevost buses out there. We work on quite a few of them, but yeah, it's just been kind of challenging because the bays and the width, and of course 6536 wasn't as wide as the other one. So Mr. Lewis and I have been in here the last couple of days doing quite a bit of R&D work, and I'm going to show you what's going on with this R&D work, kind of show you where we're at. Then turn the camera around. Okay, so this is a 46515 that's on the bottom. This is the one Coleman currently builds. This pan you see on the top, because these are the studs for the compressors, this is the footprint of the original 6536. And so you can kind of see how much difference it is right here. And so on some of these Prevost buses, literally these screws have kept us from shoehorning that thing in there. And so you can kind of see what the difference is on that. Now keep in mind that this had a top return and a top discharge. The 46515 is everything right here obviously is side discharge with a rear return. So, that becomes a challenge because, if this is already up against the wall in the bus, you can turn this straight up and down, but still becomes a little bit issue in here. Now, I've always had lots of room back here, and so some of the bus converters, they force that thing in there, they get that to work, they change the discharge, but then when I have to pull it out, it's a nightmare because that thing's literally shoehorned in there. So, what Lewis and I have done is we have taken an old 6535, which is the same width as that, and we've actually come in here and cut everything down. So we've cut the 2.5 inches over here, which actually changes the cabinet for the electronics. We had to do a bunch of work in here to make sure we had enough airflow on this outdoor coil, able to get the fan here. But now we actually have the footprint of the 6536. Now here's the actual cover that was on a 6536 originally. And you can see how this was, you know, the discharge was here, the return was right here. Now obviously, you know, the way the fan runs in here, the coil is so wide on this one that you actually cannot, there's no physical way the coil would be too long here, so you can't physically turn that. Now, in a lot of the Prevost buses, we've had lots of room back here to change the ductwork, but we've just never had issue with this, plus it being too tight to do this. So we just kind of been playing around with this idea, you know, seeing what we can do to, you know, if coils can't come in and we can't get no coils, you know, what's the next solution? So we're just kind of playing around. I mean, we've had to do a bunch of sheet metal modification, and the drain pan now has to be narrowed up, and he doesn't have a drain pan in it just yet. We've got to build one because obviously that motor, the drain pan would have typically been right in here. Of course, we had to move the motor over because there's a baffle in here that was blocking the outdoor coil, so we had to change that. But yeah, so we're gonna get a drain pan in there, and then run this thing and test it and see what we got. You know, it's just a challenge sometimes. You know, if Coleman could get me the coils and not have to buy 1,000 of them, and we could get them at a price point that the biggest thing is here, we don't want the air conditioner to cost $10,000 to $12,000. You know, you can buy brand new Coleman basement airs for about $4,400, but you know, again, there's a lot of modifications, and again, if they're too wide to go in the bay, you know, you're not going to get it to work right. So, you know, we've just been trying to figure out, you know, different solution that will work for a lot of the Prevost. You know, Alpha's still going to be a little bit of a challenge because they do have to have the top discharge because there's no room in the back to do the ductwork like that. Prevost, typically we've had lots of room in the back, so. You know, the wheels are always turning in how we can help people, because that's the main thing that we're trying to do here, is just trying to figure out, you know, solutions. Because a lot of these buses, I mean, there's so many Prevost buses still on the roads out there, and nobody wants to go through if they don't have air conditioners on the roof. They don't want to cut holes and rewire and do that. They want basement airs to do that. So, you know, this unit was a good unit. We're just kind of experimenting with it, but if it works out, then we should be able to modify brand new units to make work with this. So, you know, there you go. Just kind of showing you the you know, some of the stuff that we do here in the shop. And again, we're just trying to work and think and find ways to help you guys. That's what we're doing. Little Coachman Catalina came in the shop here. Just kind of some stuff that we're looking at. I mean, look at this. It's never had anything really done right here. It's kind of the same thing over here. The butyl's just kind of pushing out real bad. But here's what I'm really seeing that's concerning is if you look right there, look at that. Think about how much water is going in this thing as this camper's driving down the road. I mean, it's just flooding this thing. So, yeah, kind of a bad deal. I mean, never really had much done. Look at that. Look at that failure right there. I mean, there is a little bit of foam behind there, but I mean, we see a lot of water intrusion. And the bad part about these type of campers, these metal campers, not like a Phylon camper where you'll start seeing a little bit of D-lam. These campers right here, by the time you realize it's got a problem, it's all rotted out. So yeah, it's kind of a bad deal. So yeah, even back here, I mean, look at it. I mean, that water, you're driving down the road and all this water is going right. You know, this thing's moving. So all that water is going right in that back wall, and then people wonder why these back walls are falling out or rotted out. That's why right there. A couple of videos ago, you guys saw where I was talking about problems with getting parts from, you know, other dealerships where sometimes they want to help you, sometimes they don't. Well, we finally got all these parts in. I mean, my wife worked for a long time to try to get some of this stuff, and so they finally came through. But, you know, again, customers frustrated because it takes so long to do this, but you know, sometimes you don't have a dog in that race. But so yeah, they've got the parts now. You can see what they were up against. So we've got all the fascia, we've got everything for that. So they're working on getting that changed out as we speak. And that's obviously the battle sometimes is, again, competition. Just trying to help people, but I can only do what they can give me parts for, so it's the way it goes. I will say thank you to everybody who commented last week. I mean, I try to show a lot of the stuff we work on. I'm not one of those that shows, the moment by moment of how to do the repair, and, because sometimes people try to do it themselves and I don't want to get hurt or something happens. So, I don't really go into a lot of detail on that. The biggest portion of this channel was just showing people the everyday struggles of being an RV technician and owning a small business. And that's the kind of stuff we've been trying to touch on, and, why we do what we do and why we try to help people. And, thank you guys for all the comments, because, I really don't think there's any other channel out there that's kind of showcasing small business and in the RV industry. So, I mean, you guys are getting to see it as I do it. And, there's some struggles some days. There's good days and there's tough days. I mean, it's just, it's just the reality of where I'm at. So, yeah, thanks for all the comments. I appreciate everybody commenting last week. And, you're just kind of along on the adventure that I'm on. And, this is the reality, again, of where we are as a country, and, how people spend money or don't spend money, or how people complain or don't complain. So, I'm just kind of showing you as it goes. So, thanks again. Glad y'all have hung around this long. Again, my wife didn't think we'd make it this far with the channel, but thanks. And I really do appreciate you guys watching and commenting. It does make me feel good that you guys do watch and appreciate the content. I mean, I'm just trying to show it as it is. So anyways, I'm going to go down here and see Mr. Lewis right quick. He's working on that new test bed air conditioner we're working on for some of the Prevost buses. So he's getting close to running this thing. So I'm going to go down here and see what's going on, and we'll take a look at that while we're down here. All right, so you can see Mr. Lewis has got the basement air set up here. And basically what we're doing is we're doing some testing, because this is kind of what the ductwork will look like when we put it in the Prevost. And then this emulates the what he's got going on with the discharge. So just been doing some testing right there, because the biggest thing we're trying to make sure is, are we going to have a freeze-up situation? And then obviously want to make sure that we have good temps on the coils, and that everything's, operating as it's supposed to. And so far, everything's been good. Now, last week it was only about 80 degrees out here, so we obviously want to do some more testing when it's up into the hundreds, and that's kind of what we're going to do, because we want to make sure we do not have a freeze-up situation right there. Because again, if we need to open this up or close it off or do whatever, it's going to be able to tell us a little bit more when it's really in those real hot days, so we can kind of see what's going on. So again, just kind of doing some testing to see where we're at. And you can see, right now everything works great. But yeah, I definitely want to do some more testing in some nice 100-degree days. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at with that. All right, so here they are. They've got the new fascia installed. We got the little decals for that, so we're going to work on that. But yeah, got all that reworked, and got the little corner piece that's all bent up. They're working on that. But yeah, heading in the right direction now. All right, well, that's getting close to finishing us up this week. We had a few campers come in, so I think business is starting to roll a little bit. Definitely more traffic than we've seen in a long time. So maybe things are kind of turning. We are booked out on basement airs out through, I think, second or third week of May at the moment. So the basement air world is cranking. And I've talked to a lot of you guys on the phone. Some of you guys have gone out to, we sent you up to see Mr. Dave up in Oregon, and been a couple of them that have gone to see Mr. Daniel out in Las Vegas. So definitely some Winnebagos moving around. So yes, thanks for all the comments from last week again, guys. Appreciate everybody being here again this week. And there he is, Mr. Dependable, right there. He's here. How's traffic been this week?
Oh,
As far as like, yeah, campers.
Oh, a lot better.
A lot better. So he sees it. I mean, I see it a little bit, but he's down here with them all day long, and the phone's been ringing pretty good this week.
Oh, yeah.
So you feel like there's some traffic then. So, maybe it's turning. It's that time of year. People are starting to crank things out. So anyways, but he's here waiting on you when you're ready to come. When you're ready to come in, and so he'll get you all fixed up and ready to go. So anyways, well, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. And as always, this video is
Because Gary approved.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next week. Take care.